is your freedom. And then, with intention, with consciousness, in the privacy, safety of home, allow yourself to fall to pieces. Just let them all go. Fuck it. I am nothing. I'm not a man. I'm not American. I'm not a father. I'm not white. I'm nothing. In the privacy, safety of home. Take a breath. 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 Detach. Let yourself, let yourself in the privacy, safety of home, allow yourself to fall to pieces. Just let them all go. Fuck it. I am nothing. I'm not a man. I'm not American. I'm not a father. I'm not white. I'm nothing. Well, I am Jack Talcott, and welcome to Chats with Jack. I appreciate all those who may stop by now or in the future. I'm going to drop the link right now, but I am feeling at such a moment of peace. And so I hope in the intro, credit first to Provo King for his contribution and the artists. It's in the description. I feel so blessed to be alive, and I want to share some blessings and some new inspirations I've realized. And it's really pretty simple stuff. For those who are willing to take a breath with me and just allow yourself to settle into the moment in order to understand, there could be some powerful meanings in what I want to share. And for those who aren't ready, you'll hear the word salad or gibberish or what regurgitated stuff, whatever it is you imagine. You'll hear the same old stuff. But I'm encouraging you. Take a breath. Allow this moment to be different than the ones from the past. Because one of the things I observed today is that all learning is a realization. It comes from within. We continue to ask questions until we find the answer that feels right within. So all truth resides and is found within. So all of learning is actually a realization that comes from within you. It becomes realized within your consciousness. So what is a realization but a remembering? It's a remembering what we have forgotten. Holy cows, how much have you forgotten? We focus on what we remember, but how much have you forgotten? I've forgotten a lot. I actually found out it's pretty freeing to stop trusting in memories and to start trusting in that which I know. Because the knowing brings confidence, right? And with confidence, we can find peace. And the peace, I'm drifting off in many different ways. So I hope you guys buckled up, maybe allow that mind to travel with us. And brothers and sisters, please, I'm not going to take the time to name. I know it is respectful to do so, but God bless. The one I got to do, absolutely, brother, thank you. And a light of encouragement and its support is seen in you, brother, and many I see in the chat. So maybe I kind of jumped ahead because the topic today was discussing the divine that is always present within us. See, the divine is from or like God, perfection, if you will. So what is perfection? That which needs nothing more, nothing less, that which is whole and fulfilled. That is divine. Can you become divine with me for just a little while? Need nothing, want nothing, right? Everything is perfect, just for the moment. Because this morning I was outside, I was celebrating the perfection of the morning sunlight. It's like that coolness and warmth, and it's just a magical, beautiful expression of love that God has offered us every day, right? So I was in the backyard feeling the warmth, the light, the intelligence that life brings from the sun, from Mother Earth, from the breath. And as I was celebrating that morning, golly geez, that morning sun, it brought all of this out of me. I was sitting there very humbly, speaking to God. I do often. I don't get any answers, man. I don't get a lot of answers from anyone, to be honest, but praise God. I know one day I'll know. So I was sitting there in the sunlight, listening to birds, feeling the cool breeze, the warmth. And I mentioned this to friends today. I don't know how long it's been there, but I noticed one of the neighbors put in one of those water features. So now I got like water in the background too. And it's just freaking perfect, beautiful. And so I sat there humbly, praying to God, thanking God for the perfection, for that which I have been allowed to learn and discover and experience for myself in this lifetime. Dude, this life has been such a friggin' adventure for me. I've been all around the world, played a bunch of roles for different people, for myself. Thought I was doing the right thing. I trust I was. Even when I wasn't. But I'm drifting off, sorry, into memories. But that's where I was, remembering this morning, and my humble prayers to God, that I pray humbly, respectfully, truthfully, and honored to know what I do. I pray to become worthy of the love and the respect I know is available in this world. And then the words that flashing in my mind were the things I've said about my purpose here on YouTube and social media my goal is to find a way to bring peace to this world, to bring love, equality, to bring praise of life, celebration of life, protection of life, the conservation of life to our world. That's what I want to do. So the thought that came to me when I was praying to God today was, you are the only one who can make your words truthful. And it's true. But I know, by God's grace, tomorrow may come. Holy cows, man. The characters that this world brings, that brings forth. I've heard the stories of the life that I imagine created this profile. It was tough. Not a lot of kindness was shown, it sounds like. Maybe not much mercy either. And that kind of brings me to some of my thoughts that, this morning, the celebration of what may be possible for us here on earth. And I thought about some similarities of me. But the purpose that I want to share with you is the question for yourself, to answer yourself honestly. Can you love being you? Just as you are today, just as you are right now, with all of the conditions of the world, everything you've learned, everything you've thought of. Can you love being you just like this? At least for a moment. See, because it is from a place of love. All of these things go together. Peace and love. There's not conflicts and opposition in love. There is strengthening. There is correction. But we've been brought into a world, I've said it before, consider the world the devil's playground. We are the toys. We get to choose what we offer into the world through our thoughts, our words, our deeds. So you can, starting today, you can simplify your life if you believe that you can. And you believe you're worthy of a more simple life. What if your purpose is simply to play your role in God's story, but to play your role honestly and cheerful and kind? What if that was the simple goal for your day? I'm going to be honest, cheerful, and kind today. I'm going to be honest, cheerful, and kind today. Does that seem difficult for some reason? See, this world has become neglectful and distrusting amongst human beings. And so kindness has been overlooked as a quality, particularly in the male types. I don't know if I'll go into this, the personality traits, but there's an identity called a sigma. It's not common yet, but what I actually think it is a conscious human being, one who actually stops to think about what is going on. This is another thought I had too. I've shared my story and my opinions on what I believe I've experienced. I've shared all those details before, but consider this thought. Consider the similarities instead of the differences between you and Jesus. See, if we just flow with the archetype and the concepts of the scriptures, Jesus was the archetype version of us, of a divine being, one who is here willingly serving the will of God, the Father, the Creator. The creation is happening, and we are happening as a part of it. So how do you choose to feel about it? Are you resentful about what you remember? Does your guilt and shame keep you from being kind and cheerful on purpose? I mean, that's seriously the goal for all of us, and our minds can overcomplicate the obvious. Okay? You won't believe the deceptions. If you haven't figured out that you've been lied to, you haven't stumbled across the truth yet. Okay? I think many of the people who tune into me, I think they're on a guided path, and perhaps all of you have great destinies in your future. Because if more people today, starting right now, if more people today recognized their potential, holy shit, man. Because see, let's get back to the Jesus character, the Buddha character, the archetype. I mean no disrespect by the choice of my words, okay? We're all characters in the story of creation that God is revealing through us, right? Each day is a new opportunity for life. So what is life? Is life the same old thing? Is it the habits that I just don't want to stop? That's what life can become. But if your purpose is to become honest, cheerful, and kind, what you're going to find is you find more gratitude within you, right? When you're honest, cheerful, and kind, people around you tend to be more pleasant. You've got more reasons to feel gratitude within yourself. And you can feel good about how you treat others when you're honest, cheerful, and kind. You can feel good about how you treat others. And then guess what that does? When you treat others cheerful and kind and honestly, you have less conflicts. In theory. I seem to be an exception for many, many different things. I'm not even going to share that. Thanks for the contribution. Proper instruction motivates people. Golly geez, man. When you get your mind out of the gutter, dude, when you get your mind out of the gutter and you recognize the confusion you've been living with, man, your Christed heart is going to show, Paul, and you're going to be transforming lives fucking every day. But I don't know. Well, Paul, obviously rude could be a way to present that, but what was included in the message with the super chat was not helpful. It was not, I didn't find it kind, because I think you should know me better by now, brother. Right? And let me get to the point. Super chats is a fiat currency, and I appreciate that demonstration of support, but I don't worship money, Paul. I don't rely on it. I don't trust it. I don't give a shit about it. My purpose, Paul and others. No, so there's no secrets. When there is disclosure, when human beings stop lying to each other because of their professions, guess what? The banker's lies crumble. we can move past. We could move past the limitations of money and authority. Guess what? Those delusions were invented and taught to you and me. You don't have to believe in authority. You got to respect one another. You got to be honest with one another. Ideally, simply, we can treat each other cheerfully and kind. And we can recognize that the world we live in is a world full of sins. What are you participating in? Are you bringing the light or the darkness? We get to choose. This is the game. This is the creation that God invented. It's like, I heard it said recently, and I love this description. The game of life here, right? This is a cosmic light show our created has allowed to form for the purposes of eternal spirits, divine spirits, which is what we are. I'll come back to this too. Let me finish this thought. We are the divine spirits here in the devil's playground for the purposes of exploring life. It's really kind of that simple. There is no separation from the divine, from the perfection of this moment. What prevents many of us from accepting the perfection of this moment is our remembering of what we've done, the remembering of what we've judged others to have done. It's the things we imagine that get dragged into the moments and bring our unpleasantness, our rudeness, our insults, our accusations, our disagreements, our conflicts. And brothers and sisters, back to the train of thought regarding thought, that all learning is a realization. It's the acceptance and comprehension. Maybe you got to put the words around the concept with your own language, but all learning is a realization and a remembering. Well, how could we remember if we've never done what we have? Unless the all-knowing is within. Can you allow yourself to settle into the all-knowing that is within your vessel? And can you find gratitude for this breath and the next? Because I truly trust my faith, my devotion to God is, when I'm done here, I'm going back to my worship and participation with God. So the link is pinned for those who might want to join. The idea for all of us, really, genuinely, play with this thought in your mind and find a logical conclusion of why it is wrong, but don't reject it just blindly because you disagree. We're part of this story of creation, right? We're eternal spirits. We come and go, multiple lives, multiple dimensions, time. It's all this transparent energy and information that we experience. So what if the entire simple part of being a human is to learn how to love you as you, wherever you go? Wherever you go, love you. And if you love you, you're not going to subject yourself to abuse. You're not going to, if you love you, you're not going to subject yourself to abuse, to insults, to torture from your thoughts. You're going to show yourself some love, some mercy. And you're going to stop the silly habits. You know, this was a thought I had too, because of conversations I've had. Addiction is a son of a bitch, man. I remember it. And I remember my own insanity. I sit back and look at it. For those of you who are suffering from addictions, unhealthy habits, unhealthy patterns, conflicts, if you're dealing with those things, go within and figure out why. What is that doing for you? And then recognize, yep, there are consequences for our choices. There's results and consequences for everything we do. If we're wrong, the truth will be revealed. It will not be hidden. It will come forth. Praise God, because God is the truth. God is that which is real. So are you real right now? Or are you living in your imaginations and going through life just remembering and repeating the same stories and the same ideas over and over? I hope not. I used to live that way and it sucked, man. It was pretty miserable. But today, my life, albeit, I'm going to connect a few dots for some of the things I was saying earlier. The remembrance and realization of you got to humble yourself and just accept the truth as the truth. As Jesus was, we are. Okay? So Jesus was one with the divine. The divine is within. We only live right now. Right? Right now is where life happens, where choices are made. Lives can be transformed in an instant with a choice, with the power of mind and the burning desire and intention. Addictions and habits, you can say, no, I'm done. I'm walking away. Son of a bitch. I look over and I see my nicotine. Hey, I know the power. I've quit many things. And this is a choice that I've consciously choose each day. See, I don't live caught in the past. I spend a lot of time with my mind on the future, imagining possibilities, setting my prayers and intentions for the benefit of others. I have in my heart to serve this world in any way that I can. It's how I've spent my entire life, man. Turned out, though, after 40 plus years, I realized I was serving selfishly. And I was serving the wrong people in the wrong ways. When I found more of my potential, more of what I could offer, and I started offering it to guys, you guys have been laughing at me, but I don't understand what is funny, to be honest. Since 2018, some date in that year, I committed myself to the goal of trying to find a way to end wars and the Federal Reserve. I wanted to end wage slavery and wars since 2018. Man, I have got up every single day a failure. How can I be happy? Because I remember the efforts and I know my growth and I know the things I've learned, and I got a guest. Welcome, my brother.
How are you, Jack?
I am full of cheer, kindness,
And
and
Jizz from your life
no,
partner.
I'm full of gratitude. See, this is what I realized too. It's only when we're at peace that we really find the gratitude. And the way to find the peace is to be kind to yourself, kind to others. When you're kind to yourself, Paul, I love you, man, but are you ready to change yet?
What makes you think that I have to change, Jack?
You don't love me the way that I need to be loved.
Well, that sounds like a you problem.
No, the reason I have my limits is because I have so much love for myself, dude. This is what I was talking about. I don't know where you tuned in, but I was talking about my prayers earlier today about how much I love being me. Fucking.
Yeah, but if you really love being you and you love your life, why the need for so many others around you to change for you to enjoy you and your life?
There's greater success found in change than by repeating the same patterns.
Right, but folks have to want that.
Why don't you want greater success?
Well, we're not talking about me changing to have greater success. We're talking about me changing so you feel loved.
Well, right. But this is the thing. If you want to work with me towards greater success, you're going to have to change your behavior.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I think there's lots of folks who work together every day toward more success, and they don't require more changes in love from other men they're working with. They just work together.
Right. Too bad. We live in a world of enablers, brother. Why you've got to know this. Right?
Right. But like there's nothing enabling.
Here. What have you learned of the Sigma male yet, Paul? You were talking about betas and alphas, and you present this real arrogant masculinity that I don't find healthy. Yeah, it's not really cheerful or kind. And that's where I was going, and that's the method of connecting to the divine.
Hold on, Jack. I got another iteration of myself here.
Gotcha.
There we go. Right, so again, we have different perspective on what we have going on here. I don't perceive that I have to be necessarily cheerful and kind in order to be a respect-able and honor-able, trustworthy man.
Well, you can't imagine the benefits of being cheerful and kind, and you can't appreciate one who is.
I don't necessarily perceive you as cheerful and kind. I perceive you as wanting to be received that way until you get challenged, and then you get angry very quickly.
No, see, that's the looping description you keep imagining and repeating, Paul. But I've told you repeatedly. Let's come into the now. Okay. Recognize I'm a cheerful, kind man. I'm not asking for apologies or any recognition of the past like I did last time. Okay. I'm focused on the future, brother. So I'm suggesting to you, I know many people laugh at this, but there's a lot of truth in this Sigma male thing. So I'm quite confident you've not met someone like me before, Paul. I'm quite confident others haven't met me before. And the reason I'm confident with that is because I am 1000% honest. That's a rarity in today's society. And I actually stop to consider what I hear, what I learn. I actually choose what is true based on me. And Paul, you're a lot like me. I trust you might still be. I think you're one of the rarest ones too, but you gotta overcome your judgment, dude.
There's no judgment because I don't have a way to carry out the judgment. I have discernment. We've gone over this ad nauseum.
No, you don't. Right. We go over this ad nauseum because you don't look at your behavior as the punishment you offer to others for existing as they do.
Right.
Like you've offered me.
I don't accept a victim characterization that because I perceive some way and speak it, I'm victimizing others and harming them in their journey.
Well,
I think
here's
that's
the
ridiculously
thing.
weak
Hey,
and lukewarm,
Paul,
and I think it's a victim mentality.
Fine. You think a lot of things because that's what's within you. You keep looping. You've accused me of looping, and many of your observers have accused me of looping, but I'm here in the present, filled with kindness. I'm cheerful. I'm grateful for life. Okay. I'm grateful for the divine presence, not so much your presence, Paul. You are not God in the world of others. In the lives of others, you're just some other hypocrite who fucking says a lot of things online.
Okay, is this you being cheerful and loving again?
Oh, you know what? God bless. Thank you, brother. You do help me.
As you call me a hypocrite, you're being hypocritical. How ironic.
What about the rest of the things I said? Did you find any agreement? Any value?
Can I get the other list of things without you getting out of control of your emotions, cursing and screaming at me while being loving and cheerful?
You're deflecting, brother.
I'm not deflecting. I asked you for the rest of the list. I didn't hear it or I didn't pay attention as well as I could have. Might be my mistake.
God bless. You know, what I'm doing is I'm sitting here praying to myself. What am I guided to do? Because what started the discussion, and Joe Cool, welcome, brother. It's good to see you again. And Paul, it's good to see you again. I think it's been a few days, but I decided to give you a chance again, bring you up. But the topic,
is that the narrative, Jack, that you're giving me chances?
Yep. Based on the facts.
So you're in control. You're in charge, right? You're in the power position.
Fucking obvious, is it not? Is it not?
No, I didn't mean the stream. I meant your life and the future destiny of our relationship and
Paul,
the level of success that you're going to get
right,
to.
Get out of the head and imagination. We're not going to sit here and listen to your imagination and insults, okay? You can be part of a healthy discussion if you stay in the moment. Recognize you're not top dog on this stream.
I'm top dog in life. This stream ain't shit.
No, you tell people you are. This is right, what I'm saying.
And a lot of them believe it.
Paul. Hey, Paul, what I said is you talk the talk. Okay? But you're making so many fucking excuses to hide your insecurities are clear to me, and they're shown through your arrogance. You continually I see a need in you. You have to be dominant.
So would you characterize myself as being more dominant in this interaction than you, or you being more dominant in this interaction than me? Because I'm seeing you being controlling and domineering and me just kind of being balanced and level and speaking what I'm seeing.
Right. You see your habit of comparison rather than accepting what I said.
Right. I should do as you say, not as you do, right? The rallying cry of a hypocrite, as you call me a hypocrite.
Hey, Paul, I'm not going to play around very long with your negativity, all right? Find a way to change your friggin' attitude. We can have some fun.
So I'm the one being negative in this.
Yes. Can you see yourself? I'm being honest with you, Paul.
Right, because anyone who's not cheerful and nice must be being negative. That's the default, right?
Well, is that not true?
Passive aggressive manipulative games as you're not being loving and nice, telling me I'm being domineering and controlling while you're doing that, and then telling me I'm doing that because I won't be nice and kind, which you're not being. You don't see the loop of insanity, of hypocrisy, of egoic arrogance coming from you.
Okay, Paul. You're projecting your behavior on
Right, because you'll never take any accountability or responsibility for what you have done or do. Never, ever. I've never seen you do it.
Let's come into the moment. Let's come into the moment. You are not the all-knowing God who knows if I've ever accepted accountability or responsibility or what I do or don't do. You don't know shit, Paul.
I do. I've had a year of experience with you, like many other folks who have the same conclusion of you.
Hey, Paul, see? If, again, Joe, would you be willing to help offer any mediation to help Paul out of his arrogance?
Yes, I absolutely.
Could you help me out of my arrogance, Joe Cool, as he's being arrogant, right? It's just amazing. It's like hilarious.
I'll just try to clarify a little bit. Well, go ahead. Someone make a statement and we'll try to stick to it and all of that shit.
Okay, let's bring us back to the topic and conversations that I was having, if we may, all right? And that was about the divine. What is the divine God like, or from God, that is perfection? What is perfection? It needs nothing more. It needs nothing less. Can you accept that this moment is perfect? It's been perfectly brought forth by everything that's happened.
Let me say, a little while ago, I would not have been able to accept that because I thought perfection meant just the positive. You know, everything had to be good and blah, blah. That was perfection. Now I know that chaos is part of the perfection. So, yes, I could totally believe that this moment is perfection.
Bless you. Every moment is change, and change is chaotic. But within all of the change, every moment brings a stillness. And it's from that stillness that we find peace. We only live right now, okay? So how we feel right now, how we help others feel right now, it's important. It feels good to be cheerful. I mean, and when you're grateful, you're fucking cheerful. So gratitude is the key to a happy life.
Seems that way. It seems that way.
But if we're spending our time complaining about things we're seeing or things we're learning about,
like running out of fiat the other day, and you were yelling and screaming at all of us because you're running out of fiat, like you were a year ago.
Hey, actually, Paul, thank you. Let's point out the difference. I have grown since then. At that time, I felt bringing that out was a way of demonstrating the feelings of urgency that I feel, not just for myself, but for the rest of the world.
Because all you have is a now. And every now you get, you're not using it to figure out how to generate sources of value. So when your value starts running out, you go, I'm running out of fiat, but I want to claim there's only the now and what you do with it. Right.
That's a false
So you
narrative.
can't have it both ways. It happened last year and it happened 2 weeks ago. So you're running the same now over and over again with the same results, even the same reaction. A year apart. Yeah, we are.
I mean, there's some mediating here a little bit. If Paul is saying that you're complaining that you're running out of fiat, and he is saying that if there's the now, you're not using that now to put in time and effort to make sure that you don't run out of future fiat at a future time. I think that's what he's saying.
Because Jack thinks he's entitled to sit around and feel good and be taken care of.
This is what I'm not going to tolerate. You present these false narratives.
That's my perspective.
So let's discuss what you got wrong.
Go ahead.
You think you're entitled to sit around and feel good and get paid, apparently.
What do you do, dumbass? You're fucking projecting.
Why are you just said let's stop the comparisons? You just said let's stop the comparisons.
Paul, you're the one who's bringing up comparisons. You want to make these charges at me? Tell you what, hey, Joe, what I'm trying to do here is demonstrate that Paul is projecting exactly what he said onto me. Okay. That I think I'm entitled. I think I can sit around and feel good all day and get paid for doing nothing. Okay,
You're saying he is projecting, and these are his attributes.
dude. Here's how I see what Paul is doing. He's so gifted, but he's fucking self-sabotaging with his arrogance.
I can go for that assessment. That's not.
Excuse my language.
Yeah.
Hey, what I see Paul doing, he sits around, smokes pot all day, and hangs out with his buddies.
Yeah.
He makes buddies and arguments with everybody who comes on the panel.
Mhm.
And pushes people away who actually want to see him do better, like me and his dad.
To keep to the topic, though, if
projecting,
yes, projecting. He is saying that you are doing these things not in the interest of making money in the future, or you're not making bread. I think his argument is that, yes, I sit around all day. Oh, he's here. I sit around all day and these things, but motherfucker, I've turned it into a hustle, which is kind of what I do.
It's not about that. The folks see value.
Right. Here's the other part too. He wants to bring up the value. Okay. He chases money. He thinks money is important. He worships those who have money. It's so friggin' obvious. The Taint dude and 50 Cent, he's like many others in our society today. He's been confused. He claims he's free, yet he participates with the slavery. The money is the tool for slavery. Without money, there would be no divisions. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't worship money. Hey, and here's another thing. Paul has not seen the value I've been offering because he's spending so much time mocking me publicly.
Dope.
He hasn't been listening. But if you look at the value, let's come back into today. What I am doing today, I find to be of value for others, discussing God, spirituality, the truth.
Yeah, I think we were talking about monetary value.
Are you going to allow me to speak, or are you going to keep cutting me off and throwing me out?
Can you control how you present yourself?
You just said you don't worship money and that I chase money. I haven't chased money one time. You were the one who left me and said you found Antoine, who was greater. He had more money and more connections, and you dropped me like a hot potato. Only to a week later come back and say things.
Dude, your narrative is just out of line. You don't give a shit.
It was funny though.
See, out of the infinite facts that have occurred and developed over the past 8, almost 9 months, not a year. Okay, let's not continue exaggerating and distorting. Let's show some respect for the truth, Paul.
Go ahead.
If you look at more of the facts, what you would see is that I have repeatedly offered him forgiveness. I've offered him kindness. Yeah. I've offered him a cheerful nature, even gratitude. And what has he done? He's mocked it. He has mocked my kindness publicly, without guilt, without any recourse. And we live in a society that promotes it, that supports him in his behavior.
Of course, yeah, that last part.
Okay, if we want to change the world, people need to friggin' change. Brothers and sisters, today is where we get to choose what we do.
Stay with your philosophy. You say you've offered Paul forgiveness. People need to change. The only person you control is yourself, right? These actions that make things change will be yours. They won't be Paul's.
All change for Paul must come from within him. I can only offer him support, encouragement, and correction. He has refused to accept anything I've offered. So far, it appears.
It's always you and folks like you who want me to change, but won't focus on you changing.
Look at the pattern of your experience, Paul.
I have a right to my perspective in speaking it. I'm
Paul, come into today. We've already had this conversation that if you're not willing to change, you're not going to be a part of my life. Okay? You'll be part of my past, but I will leave your ass behind. You can continue your 7 days a week entertaining slaves, as you call them, so that they're distracted from their purpose. Brothers and sisters, Joe, for those who tune in, I'm sharing my time, my truth, my example, my experience. I'm honest about everything I say. The words I say are very simple. I can explain them in many different ways.
I can appreciate that simplicity. I'm a fan of, and I appreciate it when I see it.
Well, this was where I started this stream, brother, was to the suggestion and encouragement for people to simplify your life. If your goal is only to be honest and cheerful and kind,
yeah,
what the
90%
frick?
there, ain't you, man?
What is wrong with
job? Yeah.
Paul? What is wrong with asking you to be honest, cheerful, and kind when you spend time with me?
Because you're none of those things at your.
You're projecting. He was saying, I am none of those things at my core. He is lying to himself, and he has been publicly lying about me. And I don't appreciate it. I respect myself, and I respect the truth of my experience. And Paul, you want to keep judging me? Take it up with God.
Right. So you have a narrative that for 5 years no one will deal with you, yet you want everyone else to change to be in your life, or you're going to leave them. No, folks leave you before you leave them because you need to change, not everyone.
He's refusing to accept what I said. He's returning to his arrogant nature. I'm not going to put up with it, Paul. Because whether you like what you're saying or not, it might be true. Actually, it is true. If others are not willing to change and become honest and kind, all right, I'll accept you're not cheerful. Fine. But if you can't be honest and kind, piss off. Paul Unslaved, this is your last opportunity on this stream.
So why is the requirement honest and kind rather than not just honest? Why is it your feelers need kind in order to process truth?
Have you not listened to any of my streams, you dumbass?
Right, but you don't embody it when you're challenged. It's easy to sit around by yourself with no connection and no relation. Say you're cheerful and kind.
See, if I got to remove you every time to interrupt you, if you can't establish self-respect here's something. Paul speaks the words, but he has no actual understanding within him. He's a confused kid. Okay? There was a point I wanted to get to. It's about balance. Okay? Balance is present. It's being in the moment, allowing the moment to be not to be in the control of the moment. What we're seeing, okay, we're all reflections of the consciousness. We're all sharing this moment through the perspective of human consciousness. Different colors, different genders, different memories. But this moment, wherever we are, it's all the same. Because we're all the same being from the same source with the same creator. So what Jesus was demonstrating, what the Buddhas were teaching, Paul knows the Tao, but he sure has a confused understanding of it. What they were teaching is love. How to flow with the moments of life, with the joy of being you.
All right.
And the joy.
Okay. I got to ask if what we're talking about here is balance. This is just poking at me. It's sticking out. Then I think you give Paul an argument. You asked for truth and niceness. I forgot what your other word was. Truth. Kindness. Very good. Truth stands on its own. I'll agree with that. But the kindness part, if you need balance, You can still be, if you need balance, you can still be truthful. And you may need the other thing. You may need tough love sometime. You may need the hard truth sometime, which doesn't appear so kind. But those things have a place. Not saying that's what he's doing. There is a place and a time for those things. And they may not appear kind, but they are.
The truth. We should always share the truth with confidence and accept the consequences with honor.
Truth stands on its own, right? But the kindness part, that's why I only addressed the kindness part.
Well, okay. Kindness is important because how honest is it if you don't give a shit? You tell yourself you don't give a shit about someone else's experience with you.
Honesty, not kindness. You keep going back to honesty.
Okay,
you said
but
that spoke on its own, but we could do honesty.
But the two are tied together. If you don't give a shit about how you're spending time with someone's experience, you're not going to have you will not be kind. You don't care. Paul doesn't care about the time others are spending with him. He takes his time for granted.
I'm sure that's what he's saying. That's what he presents. I'm not so sure that that's what he is, though.
More projections, huh, Joe Cool? More misunderstandings, projections, delusions, and denials. Huh, Joe Cool? Joe Cool, don't forget that in order to be nice, you have to submit and let him interrupt you and stop talking. That's part of his be nice and honest routine.
Well,
it's the rallying cry of every narcissist.
Hey, Paul, instead of complain, fucking look at your behavior to understand why you're being interrupted. Look at your pattern of disagreement. We don't have to fucking find reasons to argue, dude. If you come up with an argument again, you're done for the day, Paul. Grow up. At least
right.
For a little
it's not growing up to tell another man that he can't have disagreements without you acting out your emotions on him.
He's gone.
Okay.
So Paul's demonstrating a bad habit. He's demonstrating bad habits. He's presenting as a disagreeable man. Okay. In the old days, was spirituality was really kind of thought. You would say there's some demons in his mind. You could say today there's some demons in his mind haunting him, telling him that others aren't good enough. And he lives in a world of slaves. Nobody's worth anything. That's what he's saying to his audience for hours and hours a day.
Yes, but there's a but behind it, right?
I don't know. Hey, no excuses, Joe. No excuses.
Listen, here's a good one. I don't know if this is an excuse or not. This is a reality. You can tell a tree by the fruit that it bears, right? So
his is bitter.
What?
His is bitter.
That nigga bears good fruit. And listen, and I'll also say that I would agree with your assessment that he presents a bitter spirit or whatever you called it when he's around you, that wants to fight and tussle all the fucking time. I'd agree with that assessment. Anybody probably would. However, I want you to know that within all of that fighting, 90+% in my opinion is truth. He's hitting shit on the nail the same. I'm sorry, my internet shit. The same way you hit shit on the nail and he acts like he didn't hear it. Motherfucker, he hit shit on the nail and you don't acknowledge it. I see it going both ways.
I encourage you, Joe. Pay attention. Okay?
Yeah.
Because this thought just came to me. You're right. Paul is very insightful, but his arrogance has him confused, especially with me. But consider this, what if? I mean, God is the author. I'm narrating my story honestly, humbly. Okay?
Yes.
I got this live without fear. I faced so many, secured the trademark and said, this is a good idea to promote. Dude, you think God didn't fucking give me chances to learn what that meant?
All right.
Yeah, I faced fears I didn't know were within me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to learn how strong I actually am. when I lost the support of family and income and all this other stuff that people take for granted.
Yeah.
I remained grateful though. So I also set the goal back in 2018 to become more Christ-like in my choices and my behavior, the way I present myself to the world.
Yeah,
So
it's admirable. Yeah.
I've considered quite a while ago. I think Paul and Wizard, dude, they were beautiful teachers, man. They tested me. They tested me.
Yes.
Well, see, now I'm at new levels of faith.
Yeah.
Paul still wants to loop on the fiat, the comparisons, and all this shit.
Yeah. No. I think you're about to say something wrong. If you can give me a second, Paul. Girl, just popped it up, made it pop out of my head. It was
Hey Jack, can we address yesterday when Special K came up and you kicked her out because she was going to play all the voicemails and show the text messages of how you've been abusive to her and domineering and controlling, egoic and arrogant? Why wouldn't you let her?
Is that the only narrative of facts? Are there other facts? You believe that I threw
I'm
her
asking,
off because of what you just claimed?
I'm asking, can we today bring her up now?
Oh, we can discuss it. You've already presented.
Yeah, can we bring her up now and show the text messages and voicemails from you saying that she has to work with you and let you change her? And then
I know she presented it that way, but
I want to figure it out because I didn't hear it.
Okay, so I'll explain it. When you shut up, you'll understand.
Your presentation of those facts, Jack. I'm interested.
Here's what I've learned. I shared this, I think it was the last stream. What are users, right? Those addicted to drugs, those dependent, they are users, right? So users use others, and they have patterns of being ungrateful. They're never fucking satisfied. They're never happy. They got things to complain about for days and days. That's why
this ties into
they got to
that
use
you
others.
guys are talking about. K. This ties into K.
Yep.
Okay.
She has openly shared past addictions. I've openly shared mine as well.
Me too.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm damn strong in my recovery. Yeah, offering encouragement and help for others. Okay. Right. So the ungrateful, what happens when we go through periods of trauma in our life? We start building these images of ourselves where we deserve the punishment, we're not worthy, or we start blaming the world. It's a dark world, there's nothing good, bitterness sets in. It's the way darkness.
You're speaking in generality. Speak of K.
I offered her help, her choices. Here, she left out a lot. She left out the fact that I was generous with finances, didn't know her, she said she could use some help, said she was available to share her talents and creativity with me, but needed some support in order to get going. So I sent some cash. No big deal.
Okay.
Then, as she's not making herself available for us to actually work together, I kept asking for time for us to talk so we could coordinate some ideas, maybe get some things I could use rather than just what she found creative.
Okay.
So I thought if I can help her gain clarity in her mind, confidence in her purpose, and her state of being and health improved, if I could help her, she would be more effective and maybe more grateful to work with me.
And you couldn't help her because she remained unavailable?
Correct. She made no opportunities for us to follow through. And then she says it was not a condition, but like I said too, she said she was willing to reach out to my family, and God bless her. Many people have tried, okay? But I know what my life is, and people must have in their heart to succeed in this case for sure, okay? So if people are just doing it because they're telling themselves, I have to do this to be nice, or, well,
So,
I wanted to, hey, Joe, I wanted to avoid that. And what I felt is if you set 90 minutes aside for us, let's not talk about me. Let's not worry about my problems. Let's focus on you.
We need to talk about you right now. If you offer to help this girl, she asked for support. I don't know if she asked for monetary support, but you were kind enough to give her monetary support. And you know what she does? And I don't know that this happened. And I'm sure she'll say it wouldn't. She flakes. She doesn't even return your phone calls. You know what you get to do? Nothing. Zero. She owes you nothing. You don't get to yell at her. You don't get to complain or any of that, right?
Oh, do I get to be wrongfully accused and my reputation slandered? Is that what I deserve for trying to be kind and generous with the blessings that God has allowed me to learn?
I think you left out the part where she slandered you. You hadn't gotten to that yet.
Well, Paul was bringing it up, how Kay comes up saying how Jack demanded this and he was so this, so that. She's a victim, playing a victim. It's the part she's been living. And Kay, you're welcome to come up. You are welcome to come up.
She's in the room.
And Margot, you're happy ass. Praise God. You know what? This is turning quite fascinating, Joe. I don't choose to spend my time, make myself available for people who don't accept me.
Yeah.
Okay, Paul, you got a problem with what you think of me. Look within yourself. What God has created is actually a pretty damn good example for you to shut your mouth and learn from, kid.
Kid.
Juvenile behavior is accurately described. Okay? And juveniles sit around gossiping and complaining, talking about what they did or what they think. That's juvenile. That is immature. We are grown men and women. I've looked at my stats. I know there's no kids listening to me. So
yeah, no, say yeah.
We are all adults. And what is an adult? What is a grown man or woman? Plant the concept in your head and start accepting it. You are divinely created. You are perfection waiting to be shown.
You might be going the same place I was going to go. I was going to say an adult means acknowledging that you have to change for the better and doing these things, which would mean being honest, telling the truth, helping motherfuckers, faithful, all those things that adults are supposed to do. It means accepting that you must not do them. That's adult shit. And I think is what you were just saying. That's what, whatever the attribute you were saying, that's what adults do. They take on that shit and actively change themselves to become those things.
Amen. Well, an adult can be a child. Okay. We got a lot of hurt children that grew up. Paul's an example. So emotionally stunted and then develop patterns of aggression. It's just like you treat an animal poorly, the animal's going to grow up mean. I love that you're laughing, Joe, because praise God, God is funny. What humans have been created to do, I swear, Joe, when we are not careful and when we don't choose our thoughts, we start living in these delusions. And then when you're living in a delusion, you look like a clown. I've looked back at myself, the foolishness, the stupid things I used to think and do.
Yeah.
So maturity, though.
Yeah.
Okay. We are all of age where maturity can be a reasonable expectation. And what is maturity? The juvenile wants to just flow and to be distracted. It has no self-control.
Sorry, I'm a little distracted. I'm sorry.
I mean,
That's
all right.
wifey and the dog.
Beautiful.
I'm sorry.
Here, I'm gonna mute you up so you're good. Well, my
Go
thought
ahead,
got
I'm listening to you, pal.
I forgot what I was talking about. What do we do, Paul? I've got
you have to be you have to be honest, and you have to be kind, and you have to control yourself and stop throwing me out and getting emotional. You have a pattern. You're interrupting me again. You're not letting me speak. You're being controlling and domineering and arrogant. You're showing
you're projecting. You're coming up here presenting all these expectations upon me to deflect from your behavior, your arrogance that you're accusing me of. Why? Because you're probably a little insecure. You know the reality.
Let's try this. You make an accusation of Paul, what you think he is, and Paul, you just talk about yourself and how you are or are not this thing, as opposed to throwing anything back at Jack for a moment, because that seems to be driving him nuts.
What I'd love to see is either a demonstration or an explanation of what we can do. Let's think in the future. What is the solution beyond the problem? Obviously, you think I'm arrogant. I think I know you're arrogant for the facts, but whatever. We'll fucking play along. We're both arrogant, Paul. I told you long ago, man. You met your match with me, brother. I fucking love you. The point is, when you come up, Paul, let's talk about a solution. What can we find to agree with? What can we find to discuss without conflicts and
right. Let's just breeze right past to a solution that can't happen, because step one of NA is, in order to solve a problem, you have to admit the problem. So I know you're pointing now and trying to reverse it back on me, but we have a list of folks who've come out and said every interaction they have with you, you pay for their time. And
I didn't hear what I'd asked for. So what we're seeing again is a demonstration of his refusal to cooperate.
I think it was going to be about you, that direction he was going. It was about one of your shortcomings.
All he's got to do is cooperate. Hey, Paul, you've grown into not a leader, but a boss. You present yourself God of all media. You are the boss of your panel. You dominate. Dominate demonstrates inequality. You place yourself above others like a fool. So here, Paul, you can speak to us as gentlemen, as equals, and not dominate with your accusations and deflect from the conversation. When you come back up, Paul, I'd like to hear how you intend to cooperate so we can have better conversations than arguments.
right. So I'm being domineering by putting out perspectives you don't like. If I don't cooperate with you, you'll throw me out, which of course is domineering.
Okay, so what would convince you to change your mind that you're wrong?
It's because I command more respect in you inherently, and more people respect me and value me and what I say.
You're deflecting in order to continue your pattern of egoic nonsense, Paul. Fucking grow up. I'm done with Paul today. We have someone.
Watch this always to me.
Someone named Truth is All You Need.
Don't ring a bell.
Yeah, me either. Here for the listeners, for those who have tuned in, Paul or Joe, it's Friday. Today's Friday, right?
Oh yeah. Say, oh fuck yeah! I'm supposed to be going to Cop Watch tonight. And fucking where? Where was I supposed to be going? Pueblo.
I had something up.
It's like an hour and a half, right? 6. What time? 5:30, like 7:30. Oh, yes, it's too late.
There it is. That's what I wanted to share. Yeah, the thumbnail. Live by Faith Friday. This is a truth that I've come to accept, okay? It's through the generous expression of love that formed us all. And it's through that generous expression of love that formed us all that we get to be. In this moment, the moment of now is eternal. So we've just got to bring our minds into the moment, into the present of life. Now is where we live. We've got a society of pretend. People are pretending that money is more important than happiness. Money is more important than love. Money is more important than life.
Are they pretending, or do they really believe that shit?
Well, they've been brainwashed.
Yeah,
Okay. I fault no one. I credit God for all things. This is God's story. We are participants.
Agreed.
My eyes have been opened to the truth. So, brothers and sisters, please stop fighting. Find peace within yourself and share that shit with others. It's that easy. Become grateful for being. Not everyone gets to be through the end of the day. Not every day is guaranteed. Not every tomorrow is guaranteed.
What do you mean, Jack, by being? Be grateful for just being. You mean just being alive or being more?
You know, that's a great question, Joe, because first, does it matter? Does it matter what you find yourself grateful for in the end, as long as what you're grateful for is with honesty and with love?
Right on.
You know,
I'm glad
if we can collectively change the mindset, right, where people value kindness, value generosity, where selfishness is not rewarded. I mean, this world is fucking backwards.
Listen, the only guaranteed way I know, I should say the best way, it's probably not even guaranteed. The best way I know it would be to change myself. I have other ways, use my influence, use my channel, trickery to make things better and all of that stuff. But most of what I do will change myself. It is the same solution I see with Paul and you with others. Don't expect change from others. If you get it, you try what you can do, and if you get it, that's a bonus, icing on the cake type of shit. But the only thing that you can plan for in your plan to make things happen is what you can do, what changes I have to make in myself. Right? You wouldn't be getting so frustrated in Paul if you believe the same way that the changes that make this thing change will come from something I do, not from something Paul does. Right?
Okay.
If Paul's a snake and he
Right.
bites motherfuckers, you expect the snake to bite motherfuckers. So you must change. You can't keep yelling at the snake, stop biting
No,
people.
bullshit, Joe. Bullshit. Bullshit. This is making excuses for inappropriate behavior.
Okay.
Paul may be a snake based upon his past, but I know that hurt people try to hurt people. He's found that he learned through his hurt. That's why he shares what he's learned. I don't fault him, but I know he can do better. And if he'd shut his damn mouth and actually have a conversation with me, honestly, he could transform his life today. And if he came on the stream with joy and kindness, dude, people's lives would be transformed too.
I'm not wasn't addressing Paul. I certainly wasn't saying Paul. It's behavior is okay, however you characterize it. I wasn't even talking about Paul. I was talking about what you have to do. If I was talking to Paul, I could think of plenty things. And I'd say hurt people. I'd say Joe, a lot of things you said.
Right. Yeah. I answered to what you said. What you described was making excuses for him. You're right. I can't control Paul or others I don't know why after all this time there's still confusion about who I am or what it is that I'm sharing. Okay. The only reason there's so much confusion is because people like Paul come on and present false narratives of me. So
It
people
certainly
come
helps with
here.
the confusion when cats like that come in and the ship gets changed to different waters. Yeah.
Yes. And I have witnessed, if you go back and you look at his streams, much of the time when he's restreaming me, well, I won't say, it comes and goes. There's times where I thought he valued what I was saying. And then there's many times where I know if he'd have listened to the words I was saying, his opinions would have changed. But he hasn't listened. So here's a great question. And truth is all you need. Thank you. Welcome. And in just a moment. A question, though, for all of us who claim to be honest. How honest is a man who refused to accept the truth presented by another?
But yeah, that's normal. Fuck, I never accept something motherfucker tell me. I got investigated, find 8 other sources, weigh that
Okay.
against my own discernment. I
Okay.
don't accept shit from nobody
Okay.
ever.
But Joe, hold on. You got to really stop and think this through, because you're not going to investigate if you don't accept it. Okay. If you jump to conclusion especially based on the messenger.
I love it, Jack. You have to at least have the interest to investigate it. Yes, I agree. I like it.
Well, what I have experienced over the last 5 years, and I see one of my fans, Margot, is here. One of the actually several of the participants in my experience are here. Margot, Paul, right? God bless. What I have experienced over the past 5 years is how closed-minded people actually are. So I'm going to connect some dots I said I'd get to a long time ago. I brought up the example of Jesus. As Jesus was, we are. We can accept the Christed spirit within us, seek the divinity, the trueness of ourselves, the true loving nature that is within. And we can be that. We can be the true loving nature of ourselves at any time we want.
The now, as you say, we must do it at all times because we have the now and only the now. So we must be that at all times.
We only live in the now. And simplify Jesus. He really broke it down to 2 things. Praise God. Search within yourself to discover your connection, your relationship to your spirit. Recognize there's a spirit of you that it's beyond physicality.
Yeah.
It's all in the mind, baby. This is a big old mind game that we're playing. And if you don't stop and think, if you get up and you repeat the same arguments every day, what the hell are you doing?
Which one of you are manifesting you and Paul's arguments every day then? Because by what you're saying, we're creating this world by our thoughts. At least that's what I extrapolated. And therefore, you or Paul must be creating this daily. You're getting up and creating this shit daily.
My intentions have been the same every day, to try and offer encouragement, inspiration, maybe share some of the lessons.
It wouldn't come from your intentions. It wouldn't come from your intentions. It would come from some withheld anxiety that manifests itself, right? You see Paul, a certain energy comes forth and it created the same shit every day. It would come into that. It wouldn't be something in your conscious, right?
Well, whatever it is, Joe, I've noticed the patterns of my life. I've been dealing with those with narcissistic habits my entire life. I've been facing, and actually I've been facing bullies my entire life as well. And here's the trip, guys. I've said this before. I don't mean to be disrespectful to Snafu. Welcome, guys. Hey, I want to continue this thought, though, okay? If in fact I did set the goal to become more like Jesus, a messenger of the praise of God, a man of incredible faith and devotion, there's many who are, I don't think most have realized, okay? But my purpose and the reason I have kept, Paul has hurt my reputation, and I know for a fact that people have stepped away from working with me because of what has been shown with Paul and I. So he wants to brag about the results of increase in numbers and claim credit for everything that happens, but accept no blame, no responsibility. Here's the point. If God allows my goals to succeed, guess what? It actually fulfills prophecy. So the fact that I faced the challengers and the accusers of the past, that's what tells me that God is real. Life is important, guys. It really is. How we spend our lives is important to us. So if you don't care about yourself, you're not going to care about how you spend your time. If you don't care about how you spend your time, it's because you lack purpose. So a purpose for ourselves is found outside of ourselves. The purpose is found in the world, in the beings that are with us, that we experience. Who we experience and what we experience is our purpose to improve, to figure out, to bring order to nurture, to create. We are creator beings here to participate in the story of creation, nurturing the creations, each other, nurturing the life of nature. Dude, I was talking about this earlier. I don't know how it can happen, but please accept this possibility that somehow we get the word and the agreement through the American government, the global media, the global leaders, and we use the global media on every network and every method to say, brothers and sisters of the world, stand down, stop fighting. The debts have been forgiven. We are restructuring the economic system. There are new ways starting today. We could do it.
All right, let's stop right there. All right, let's assume we could. You said take this leap with you, so I'm assuming we could do that. We get up and we're able to broadcast tonight. Everybody stand down, relax. We're going to take care of the debts and all of that shit. What would happen? We better have a fucking debt relief plan.
Joe, here's what we do. We accept our divine nature and our free will, our ability to choose forgiveness, and we convince those who have debts to find forgiveness with them. The debts can be forgiven. Conflicts can be ended.
Whoa. You don't do all that just by getting control of the media, though. You got to convince niggas to forgive debts and all of that shit.
Hey, Joe, hold on. You're creating resistance where it's not necessary. Let's go back to the end, to the further. This will happen. Well, tell you what, I don't think people actually understand the current reality we're living in, how friggin' close to destruction this species actually is, regarding the patterns of the solar energy, the solar bursts, the way the patterns of time demonstrate it is becoming important that humanity find different ways to live together. I think it would be real simple if people made it in their purpose that their simple goal for the day was, wherever I go, wherever God takes me, wherever my spirit leads me today, I'm going to be honest, cheerful, and kind.
That's my goal every day. Not only that, I'm gonna make this guy over here a better person. I'm gonna brighten his day. I bet you I can make her laugh. I'm gonna pay him a compliment. Yes, I get up every morning. I tend to do that, and I manage to pull it off every fucking day.
Well, then why can't you ask better questions? Because me and Jack both agree that your question was not the right one.
I don't know the question, but which question?
So here
the buddy one.
Back to the topic where the global media and the world leaders, let's face it, currently we can credit a few families. I don't know who they are, but there's a few select families. Let's list less than 1,000 to be generous, who own over 80% of the corporations, who own the majority of the media and the communication that each of us have grown up with. And we may hopefully not participate too much with today, but what happens in the world happens in the world. What happens in your life is damn important, and your life brought you into my life. This is my goal. I see the world at some point, should God grace us with this possibility, where wars are ended, where we take our healthy and fit young men and women of the military and we redirect their services into rescue. Maybe put some manpower behind combating the fires in Canada, send some troops and some engineers, some support to people in flood zones and famine zones.
Am I to assume that in order to bring all these things about, you're saying all we need to do is think positive? We don't have to actually do anything, just think positive?
Hell no. That is just, no, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying you think positively, you believe that solutions are available, you believe a better world is available, and then you start taking the steps today to learn how to create it.
Yeah, so you got to start with mindset, right, Jack? Changing your mindset instead of being a fucking douchebag. You're like, hey, I want to do some good, and that starts to fucking, snowball, right?
It starts a wave. Yes, we don't realize how much each of us influence the lives of each other, but we do. And your reach, your influence, especially if you're on these YouTube platforms, you are influencing many people. So what are you offering?
Very good.
Some of them are offering a cult.
Hey, and many are offering accusations, brother. Where accusations.
I'm kind of curious why Cynthia's on your panel after going on Paul's yesterday talking mad shit about you.
Snafu, we're all here today. The divine brought us to today. I accept the perfection of this moment right now as it is, and I'm grateful.
She kind of looks like a Ninja Turtle.
From you, Snafu, that's a compliment. I'm just coming up here to balance it out a little bit. It seems like there's a lot of
you balance shit out. You're here to fucking joke on Jack. I know what you're doing.
Snafu, please.
I'm just out here to balance it out, and that's all I'm here for.
Well, out of respect, I think I said I was going to get to Truth You Need a while ago, and I don't know if I ever let him speak.
Yeah, it was about an hour ago. That patient wasn't there.
Are you still there?
I am a damn good manipulator.
I know.
I'm fucking good at manipulation.
Is that what you came for?
Damn good.
That's what you came for?
What?
So, okay. All right. Here. Let's accept what the intent of that was to take Jack's words and, present the image. Jack's a manipulator. He said so himself. Okay, bring the words into the context. You get to choose whatever meaning you want. And if you want to be a dumbass, be a dumbass. I don't give a shit. I'm not manipulating anyone for any purpose. If I manipulate anyone, it is for the purpose of bettering them. I don't manipulate people for selfishness. I'm not on here begging for fucking contributions or donations. I know my worth. For
Hey,
others,
Jack.
if you believe you see worth in what I'm saying, I am seeking investors, though. It's the world we live in. I got to accept reality. What were you saying, Snafu?
You know, I just want to say something for the narratives going around. Jack actually keeps it real, unlike some other people. And I want to say, when Paul came up here trying to use the K thing against you, let's just remind K is an active user with own issues of her own. And all of a sudden she switched it up on you. And Paul, it's a joke. Jack said it himself. He's like, come, let's be equals. And Paul had an issue with being equals with you on this panel. And you know what? That shows you in itself what the thing is. And so I just want to say, you know, all the people want to talk shit about Jack and play this game, and Cynthia, you playing your game. People see right through your shit. He's really actually been real. And he's like, hey, let's be equals. When Joe Cool was on here, and Paul had issues with that. Makes you wonder why.
Now,
Hey.
what's your issue with me? You're always going out of your way to attack me.
Well,
You're a
hey,
fucking
Cynthia.
fake ass fucking piece of shit hanging out with the granny panties now. And I'm not even getting it. Cynthia had a little stream with the granny panties last night. We'll get into it more later, but I hope you and your granny panties.
Stop with that loop of negativity. But Cynthia, I'll help you understand what he was saying. You asked the question.
What's his problem with me? You're going to help me understand why he has a problem with me?
What I heard him say today is what I actually agree with. You present yourself very fake. You're one who says what you think others want to hear. Damn. And you claim it to be honesty, but I've tried offering you observations of your patterns I've seen, but you don't seem to have any appreciation or respect for the truth from me either. Okay. So I support what Snafu
said some pretty rude things to me. And rather than become upset,
I don't give a fuck, you pedophile supporting.
Rather than become upset with you and start yelling and match your energy, I'm choosing to rise above it because you don't know me. And I would consider myself doing a good thing by handling you with delicate care. But you choose to see that as fake. So therefore, I will never handle you with delicate care again. I will.
Who are you talking
to? You, Jack.
Are you? Okay. So did you hear what I? So okay, you denied yourself again the value of what I've offered you. Okay, I pointed out my observations on your behavior. I'm an honest man. The only reason I say words really is when I believe they're helpful. Now, admittedly, let me correct myself so I'm not a liar. I recognize on these panels that many times when people felt their role in my life was to challenge me, I said some things that, were from emotion more than peace, more than kindness. So today, I'm coming from a place of peace today, in a place of love. And I told you my faith was expanded today. It really was. And so if you can receive some faith within you in a greater future, okay? The points that I've been trying to share, this kindness thing, kindness is simple to offer. It requires acceptance. We accept the other being for who they are at that moment, not in the past, but at that moment, we accept them for what they're presenting.
I like it.
We don't have to enable, though, and we've got to stop enabling. Okay, we can offer corrections to each other. Hey, this is really not helpful. This doesn't seem to be healthy. But the human ego, man, it's like, no, I'm not going to listen to that. You're wrong. I'll give you every reason you're wrong. Okay, but you're ignoring why I'm right.
That is an awesome woman's voice, Jack. Awesome.
Sounds just like my ego. How did he know?
Exactly what was in my head when I did it.
All the time.
I hear it every day,
Dude, those voices in our head, man, they can get pretty nasty.
That's schizophrenia, Jack.
Hey, everyone has levels of mind. All right. They don't teach. Children have not been taught how to use their mind or to express their feelings with understanding. Children, I think most of today's adult society has been conditioned with this mindset of strict obedience.
Really?
Well, the Christian church teaches a lot of that. The condemnation, the
Christians sure they've
Catholics.
been in style and God. I can't remember last time they had any fucking player authority. Hey, we're talking about now today. These young motherfuckers is buck wild like they ain't got mothers or fathers.
Right. And you know why? They're rebelling. I suspect my kid's rebelling right now. He was taught to obey, to believe in the authority and all this bullshit of America. Yeah. So he's rebelling. He's rebelling against the obedience because he saw obedience being taught by a fool, a man who was holding himself back in life.
Are you live?
Thank you.
I'm told that's the reason Black people commit more crimes, considering our population, than white people, is because we are rebelling. We see the system as fake, fraud, and do not choose to participate. At least one of the myriad of fucking reasons.
Brother, that's exactly it. This is what I truly believe, is that when human nature changes, when the society changes and it's not so damn heartless, people won't feel so alone. They won't turn to addictions. They'll be able to offer each other support. And most of the crime that happens, I truly believe, comes out of either desperation or anger. Okay,
I would say,
and they're lying to themselves.
Push back a little bit. I think most of the crime that happens comes from this belief that we have, this capitalist society that tells us the more money you make, the fancier car, that is your worth, is built in there. And then from a child, everyone learns to step on everybody else. And depending on what your morals, you will do, you cross the line. That's most of the fucking, in my opinion, most of the crime. It was to look good for another man, or to get that woman, or to outshine the Joneses.
But there's also the lie of the way to do that, right? Because kids, Black kids especially, but all kids in America are being taught that, you sell drugs, the gangster rap shit, right?
Yeah.
And the closest thing that our culture has to rite of passage, in my opinion, is going to prison.
Yeah, in my neighborhood, it's certainly, and selling drugs is a rite of passage. I would 1,000% agree. We're going to jail. It's a rite of passage.
That's what. Were you going to say something?
Prison. That's silly. It's the way your parents, it's the way you raise your children. I mean, yeah, you can live in the inner city. I lived in Chicago. None of my family knew. We never went to prison. We never went to jail. We didn't commit crimes. I mean, it's the way you're raised.
You are. Who was your male role model?
My mother, unfortunately.
Your mom? Did you have a male role model?
No.
Right. My male role model, you have a 99% chance your male role model is gonna be the drug dealer, the gangbanger. These are the guys with status. When children go outside away from their parents and look up to who everybody is looking up to, this is what he does. It's so fucking natural. Everybody,
that's not as natural as you say, Joe, because my father was an alcoholic. I watched him fight with my mother. I watched him punch holes in the drywall. I watched him smash windshields with a hammer. I can tell you, growing up as a kid, I never wanted to be like him. I never wanted to be a father like him. And I turned out the way I am because he was such a bad father. So you can take it the way you look at it.
Your rebuttal to me saying that part of my culture is selling drugs is that your dad was an alcoholic and you didn't turn into one. How is that an honest rebuttal to what I just said? One example of one thing that happened with one person. I'm talking about generally speaking. My old man used to beat my mom. I've never put my hands on a woman. I know that's possible, and I can still tell you that the other.
So did you sell drugs?
I did sell drugs. Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, you fell in line with a statistic, right? On the other side.
Yes, I fell in line with statistic. I'm not denying that. My argument is that every male, the same way a motherfucking kid grow up calling me the N-word, because every male that he admired as a child said that. And then you grow up and you learn different things. It's a real thing. And in my neighborhood, every male that you admire does that. We don't have dads. That's not a thing on my side. Every male figure will be that drug dealer, blah, 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 blah.
But parents aren't the only influence, too,
Well,
right? Like you have to
no, they're
acknowledge
not.
that your
Part of it.
kids absorb the same culture as everybody's kids do.
Yes.
Maybe to a more or less degree, but the degree is the only shift.
Yeah,
Let's-
I agree.
Let's bring this into the now, okay? Because
he was in the now.
Well, we're talking about the past and the problems that brought us to today. History shows there has been a targeting on the blacks and the minorities in this nation. There has, the red lines, the systems have not been built by equity. So what we've got to recognize, though, is the divinity. Okay, the perfection of now. The fact that we know all the past, we learned of all these problems. Now, what do we want to do? I want to fix all this. Okay, I want to make it so that.
Jack, that's why I asked you earlier, was the fix to just think better and wish better stuff?
No,
because
Joe,
when you say you want to fix, my inclination as a man is to say, let's do it now. So we need to talk about solutions now.
Let's do it now. Okay,
Right.
So I've been saying that I believe the most effective way to make the changes, to convince everybody that this option is available, is to speak with those who actually have influence and power today. So far, I haven't attracted a lot of those to my platform yet. Stay tuned, brothers and sisters. We will be going places soon.
Speak to those in power. That's one option. It can't be our only option.
Right.
Another option, another thing we need to do, and I think we all at least have a start on that, is speak to the masses. I think we all have an opportunity, and we probably all do that, or at least try to do that.
Amen. So how could we speak to the masses? What would be better if we actually get on here and we discuss solutions, or if we come on for 8-12 hours a day looping on restreamings and gossiping about other brothers and sisters?
That's where I'm going. We need to discuss the solutions, meaning when we speak to these masses and stuff, that is the least of our fucking battle. The message that we bring to them, especially if it's unified, and that's the difficult part, that is what's going to get them. What do you bring? You said that earlier. What do you? Are you shaking your head? I wasn't looking, but you disagree with this? I thought this was fucking basic shit.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm disappointed that this is what I'm hearing. Okay.
That we should come up with solutions, right?
You don't see what is right in front of you, or understand or trust what I've said. Here's how logic works. And I'm going to actually come back to a couple of things. I set the goal to become more like Jesus for myself, to become more Christ-like in my presence. I have
fall back to solutions in the end.
Right. It comes down to trusting one another. Okay. Trusting in God means trusting in one another in the moment.
I'm sorry.
Considering what is being said. Okay. I set the goal to become more like Jesus. People treat me like I suspect they treat God, kind of at a safe distance away. They talk about it. They blame God. They complain about God.
They're no different from anybody else, but go ahead.
Right. That's the other point. I'm just like you, Joe. I'm just like you, Flo, Steve, Paul Unslaved. I have a right to exist without coming on this YouTube and getting insulted and mocked and disrespected.
And this is going back to solutions to our problems somehow.
Yes. So problems in our lives, we can share with each other's time. We can share our problems and our fucking opinions. Or we could, if someone has a problem, What can we brainstorm together? What if we put the capacity of multiple lifetimes together and brainstorm solutions for one
I'm
another?
trying to do that right now, and you're chastising me for doing so. Just
Okay,
the
well,
irony
Joe,
here is thick as fuck.
right. Well, many people have said they've helped me. Margot Davy, who's publicly said what she said, claims to have helped me.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that when we help each other, fucking waves change. So again, we've got Kay, that's special K here in the chat. That's you know, oh my God, this is how she's describing what is happening here in this moment. She's claiming that Joe won't be fucking bullied by this sick man. Unless she means flow state. Flo, do you and her have any problems? Pretty sure she's talking about me. Fuck, oh dear.
She might be talking about me, but I don't think so.
Fuck, oh dear. So I know the world improves when we help each other. I've been offering what I found to be valuable. I mean, and if you don't understand this stuff from me, if you want to learn from the experts, dude, trust that. Go look at Joe Dispenza, Bruce Lipton, Greg Braden. Go look at Gabor Mate. I mean, there's so many people. Joe Dispenza, for those who have not heard, I watched a little video earlier. It was a testimony from one of his events. He is constantly in his events. People are experiencing miraculous healings. Okay. Now, Joe's not walking around saying I'm God like Jesus was, but he's sharing the truth. He's sharing the truth and the power of truth in the mind of people. You bring people together coherent with loving energy, with healing energy, with the intentions of bringing God's love into the physicality of this moment. When human beings come together, starting with the intentions and then following with the actions. Because when
I gotta ask, because I'm trying to hold on to the solutions thing, because you keep giving me this promise, and I can let go that thread and we could talk about other things, but I'm
Joe,
still waiting for this to
all right,
segue into. I said that we need to talk about solutions right now. We're always talking about, the best way to do it. Let's come up with some solutions right now. And you shook my head and say, I'm missing something obvious.
Solution for me, I've been very open about it. I'm trying to find a witness in my physical experience. I've got a number of pastors who said they would help me. I know a number
I'm not
of people
talking about
in my
solutions
church.
to your personal problems.
So you don't want to help me? Okay, but Joe.
No, that's not what the topic
all right,
was.
Joe,
Why you keep taking it back to your personal stuff? The
Calm
topic
down.
was, how do we heal?
Calm down, Joe. You got triggered. You got triggered, and I know why, but I don't care. And, well, his triggers are his problems. I'll help him figure it out if you want. Do you want to know why you got triggered?
I just thought it was funny.
It was funny.
Hey, Joe. Okay,
yes.
The message that to connect the dots for you. Okay, the solution for the world is we help each other. It starts right now. I'm a man that I know if someone helped me, my purpose is to help as many people as I can possibly reach. So I also know people from my past.
Just say so? In order for you to help as many people as possible reach, we have to help you first in whatever your endeavor is. Which is what I just flew off the handle about.
See, your narrative is getting you excited. You're not accurate.
I just asked
you don't have to do anything,
buddy.
Joe.
Relax,
Joe,
it's not a narrative. I just asked for clarification. That's what men do. You're flying off the handle.
I know. I'm actually. Well, God bless you, brother. Let's come back to
He's great.
It means that like Southern people mean bless your heart as a compliment. It's not.
No, he's sucking it in. I did.
Let's all come back to peace. Because from a place of peace, we can all understand each other. Okay. It's when we create these resistances and we get excited. And the excitement came from confusion, but you're working up your own confusion. Chill out, Joe. Okay.
I'm okay with that. I've been smoking a ton. I'm okay with chilling out.
All right. I know it's hard to imagine, especially with the lives we've existed in, and I only know my own. But the solution for the world is no more secrets. Okay?
Yes. Well, what can we handle? We're small. It's only 3 motherfuckers here. What can we actively do? I was thinking more along the lines of we set forth a tiny ass goal because we're tiny men.
Well, no more secrets.
Okay. Well,
what is your social security number?
You want to take advantage of the guy who wants to end wars and slavery? I'll freely share it, but I think these. I
was talking to Joe, but if the shoe fits,
I don't know. Hey, without secrets, the bankers have no more power. The authority, the government has no more power. Without secrets, lies. Our government has employees in government positions in the past have chosen to withhold knowledge to the public.
They do it now. They do it in my line of work every day. Every time I ask for a record or to speak to somebody, they withhold it. That person dodges you. They do it now daily, horribly. Yeah.
Exactly.
The no secret thing only addresses part of the problem, though.
Go ahead, Flo.
Pardon? What?
No secrets only addresses part of the problem, though, because the other part of that is that what is public, people don't care about.
This is the okay.
No, let him go. Let him go. He ain't been speaking, Jack. Remember?
No, you're right. Rather than go into the problem, though, I wanted to bring to the solution because you're absolutely right. The apathy. People don't give a shit. They don't care what's true as long as it doesn't affect them.
Yeah.
Or as long as they can deny it or ignore it, they don't care.
There's a third part to the problem. So, do you want me to get them both out, or do you want to address one and then the other?
Let's address the reality, which is this is God's story. Okay. It's up to each of us to learn to seek the truth. Okay. I'm offering what I've been presenting earlier in this stream was ways of recognizing the truth from within. I didn't go into a lot of details, but the truth comes from within, but we get confirmation from outside in our experience. Joe, the solution, if you can believe secrets.
Had 2 of them. Remember, you didn't let them finish.
Oh, well,
2 more.
Sure, focus on the objections. Yeah.
Every time you refresh, I think that you're getting kicked out.
I'm in a desert. I'm lucky to be on this motherfucker.
I don't know how you're still here.
I know, right? But if you remember those points, you were saying there were 3 parts to the problem, and you got past one.
Well, the secret, the apathy, and then the other one is implementation. Is if you were to end all secrets hypothetically, then somebody has to go first, and whoever goes first on that, like if you were to start ending secrets, you're going to find yourself in jail. Audited.
I'm sorry to interrupt. You're right, using the logical, fearful patterns of the past that humans have said, oh, we can't do this because it might do this and it might be hard. It might be challenging.
No. He didn't say you can't do it. He just put
I understand
the obstacles that we have to overcome. That should be appreciated. We just did.
Joe, he's trying to answer it by mocking it.
Well, I've been trying to present the success. You guys are so focused on problems. And you know what? I love you guys. I'm going to wrap this up with my final thoughts on the solution. Okay. The vision of the future. Okay. I'm tired of battling. See, we've spent time. We could be realistically, if you just accept that the concept logically, get the secrets and lies out of your own being, become an honest and pure, kind, cheerful person in the present, and then you can help others. Moose?
Well, let me say something. I'm going to try to be as kind as possible because you're going to end it in a moment.
You're just going to speed it up.
if we are to talk about some of these solutions in the future, they would go faster and further if you didn't present your part of them so angrily. When we got on the solution part, you've been angry ever since we said let's present some solutions. I saw it coming.
Joe, right? Yeah. Maybe why the reason could be
you're angry now.
Well,
you're about
that's
to
your
accuse me of something
Joe.
now.
Well, actually, Joe, I know you take pride in testing others. You think that's what you do to help a brother is you challenge and you argue incessantly. Joe, I interrupted you and I told you I'm wrapping up. You know I love you, my friend. Okay.
Does that mean that I'm the winner of Live with Jack?
You're survivor. You lasted the longest. Congratulations.
I think I've got the best winning streak of anybody so far.
You have. I don't know what you're receiving. I know you don't agree with everything you've heard. But honestly, I want you to
tonight,
at least consider
just some distraction tonight. I was pissy. I was fighting with somebody, and I was just like, yeah, you know what? This will distract me. So that's what I'm getting tonight. But honestly, hey. I'll answer that. A lot of the times you bring up, even though I don't agree with much of what you say, I appreciate the topics. So you spark conversation on topics that are sort of esoteric and they interest me. I just kind of need a starting place. If that makes sense.
I think so. I appreciate you, Flo. I'm going to toss you in. Thank you, brothers and sisters, all those who joined. Even if you didn't make it on the panel, I appreciate you that you showed up. Even if you were insulting in the chat and showing yourself. Here's what you got to recognize, brothers and sisters. I love you guys, but I do not care. I do not care what you do. This is God's story. You get to reveal the character of what you carry every day. So is the fruit of your being, is it sweet or bitter? People going to remember pleasant experiences? So see, those people who don't have respect within themselves, they present disrespect to others. Paul doesn't respect himself. When he looks at himself honestly, he'll see the truth. I was right. He was wrong. This is the truth he'll eventually accept. He said, I might be wrong. Yeah. It's up to you to accept the truth, dude. So when he looks back and sees what I've seen, Paul, I think you're joking. You do actually create difficulties for yourself to understand me. I said that poorly. You make yourself not understand me. I was speaking to Paul Unslaved, but he's a cool character. Yeah, I'm sure he's a better man than he presents himself. We all are. We all are better than we have presented ourselves in the past. But back to the solutions, the vision I see of the future that I said I'd get to. Somehow, some way, we coordinate with the leaders, You just got to make the legislative changes since everyone seems to worship the law. It'd be a habit, so just change the laws. Rewrite the rules, so to say. That's how you change yourself, change your habits, is you rewrite the rules for yourself. You make a commitment today for what you want to offer to the world in the future, what you want to receive and experience in the future. And you have faith in God, faith in a better future. And you seek the good moment through moment, chilling out, rest in the moment. Because now is where we live. But say we had this happen where those who needed to be were involved and made the choice, hey, we're going to change the economic system and logistics and distribution. We're going to change the value system of the world. We're going to start caring about life and about God. The truth of God, not I mean, I find man's religions and traditions to be quite fascinating. The whole NFL and NBA, and then the politics games and the celebrities and the red carpets and all this gossip nonsense. Humans are fascinating, dude. The way they waste their time, the way they hide their potential sitting behind a screen. Holy shit, I've been here 2 hours already. Let me wrap this up. So the vision I see in the future is where secrets are ended. The employees recognize their part in obeying the bosses. They come forth with what they've been hiding so that we can actually work together to repair the damages to the environment, repair the damages that collectively have been in our food stream and our water streams, our air streams. We got a lot of cleaning up to do. Humans have been quite arrogant, pig-like. Let's not disgrace pigs. Just humans can be disgusting and vile and evil creatures. Just careless and hopeless, mindless, heartless. Oh, they're beasts. I fucking love them, man. I fucking love you because I love God. There's a God within me. There's a spirit within me that is pure and divine, and it loves you more than me, more than my life itself. It loves all of you. And I've said this elsewhere, brothers and sisters. Actually, I said it in the stream at the beginning. My prayer is to become worthy of what I trust is possible for me. And my goal, I encourage you guys to push beyond the limits of your mind. If you believed our world would transform if secrets were no longer legal, don't you think you might know people in authority, right? Maybe one of your friends, one of your cousins knows somebody who knows somebody. Maybe you got some connections to people who might want to listen about changing the world, right? Bringing actually heaven here to earth, helping each other transform each other and this world into something greater. I mean, all of these things are possible. Starting from today, we can't control the past. The past is done. All we do, we only live today, brothers and sisters. So I encourage all of you. I've committed myself to this. And as I said, when I leave this stream, I know I'm going to do a number of things. There's a beautiful farmer's market across town. I'm definitely going to visit this evening. Fresh local produce and hopefully, maybe I'll find some conversations there. But I know for a fact when this goes off, I'm going outside to be one with nature, to allow my spirit to expand back into the eternity of the all. And I'm going to go back to my meditation, my prayers, my time with God. And I encourage each of you, seek the divine. Allow the divine to be within you, with you, always. Because if you can trust, if you can find faith and peace in your moments, and I'm serious, simplify your life. Play your role. Whatever role God has given you, that's your role. You're going to do it. And you made the choices that brought you to today. Accept responsibility for the good and the bad. Take a breath. Let's see what we can do tomorrow. By God's praise, by God's grace, maybe we'll see another. Thank you sincerely, brothers and sisters, those who joined. I noticed I dropped a number of subscribers, particularly because of the drama between Paul and I. I know my choices seem to upset others, but you know what? I know my intentions. My intentions are to change this world. I'm committed every single day to creating a better life for myself, better life for those around me by being kind and cheerful, spreading a little joy, a little support when it's available to be offered, and every day the same goal is in mind. I want to end wars and slavery. Let's end slavery together. I love you guys. Choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. God bless. I may take the weekend off. I don't know. We'll see what tomorrow happens. God bless.